Imagine a life where your financial worries are a thing of the past. You are actively involved in creating your financial freedom, inner happiness, and true joy. Whether it seems like a distant dream to you or not, you should know that this dream can actually become a reality. Today, we will dive into the world of Stoic philosophy, where 7 basic principles will tell you how to break out of the cycle of everyday thoughts. We will talk not only about accumulating wealth, but also about building a rich, peaceful, and positively energetic soul. Be sure to watch this video to the end, like it, subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the next valuable video. You can also help the channel grow by sharing this video with your friends. Let's begin. Principle 1. Stop associating wealth with happiness. The famous Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not he who has too little who is poor, but he who craves more." This statement highlights an important point regarding the financial status of wealth and the psychology of human happiness. Stoic philosophy showed us that we should not associate wealth with happiness, as it is a profound outlook on life. Instead of focusing on accumulating material wealth, Stoic philosophy encourages us to seek happiness by developing virtue and personal ethics. According to Stoic philosophy, true happiness lies not in the accumulation of material values, but in the cultivation of virtue. Virtue in Stoic philosophy is not just a noun, but a knowledge, a way of thinking, and an approach to life. It includes self-control, the ability to manage emotions and behavior, courage in the face of difficulties, fairness in assessing situations, and the ability to use theory to shape our worldview. We are reminded that wealth is an external, unstable, and changeable aspect of life. It is not a necessary condition for achieving true happiness. On the contrary, they believe that virtue, a life filled with meaning and value, is precisely the element that is necessary for achieving happiness. Think about this. We have heard many stories about millionaires living in misery and ordinary people leading happy lives. The amount of money in your bank account is not a reliable indicator of happiness. On the contrary, what matters is the depth of your character and the quality of your actions. Material goods are often short-lived. The joy they bring is temporary. Imagine that you have just bought a new mobile phone and you are filled with excitement and happiness. However, after a few months of use, the phone becomes outdated and the initial enthusiasm dissipates. Life seems to be constantly changing, and material possessions often cannot adapt to these changes. A new product may bring temporary joy, but then it becomes part of everyday life and is no longer enough to maintain happiness. Therefore, re-evaluating the relationship between wealth and happiness is more necessary than ever. Stoic philosophy not only helps us understand that we should not associate material wealth with happiness, but also creates a sense of gratitude for what we already have. When we learn to appreciate and cherish the positive aspects of life, we begin to realize that we are richer than we thought. It's not just about appreciating what we have, but also about understanding the true value of it. Additionally, to strengthen your wealth of spirit, you can learn to invest in knowledge, experience, and relationships. The knowledge you acquire, the experience you accumulate, and the love you share are the everlasting treasures that accompany you on your life's journey. All this together constitutes true wealth, a deep sense of satisfaction and meaning in life. It is this richness that we must respect and explore along our path. As a result, Stoic philosophy offers a completely different view of the relationship between wealth and happiness. True happiness does not depend on having more material wealth, but comes from developing virtue and living a righteous life. This makes Stoic philosophy a valuable source of inspiration for our journey to find true meaning and happiness. Principle number 2, stop blaming others. The Stoic teachers said that it is not things that hinder people, but the way they look at them. In principle number 2, we reflect deeply on the words of the sages about moving towards a bright future that we define for ourselves and not blaming others. In life's journey, Stoic philosophy provides a powerful message. We must stand in front of the mirror and look at ourselves from the outside if we want to see changes in our financial situation and overall quality of life. This message is about personal responsibility and self-confidence. Imagine traveling to a remote island where you are the only captain on the ship of your life. This island has challenges, obstacles, and opportunities. But the only thing we can control is ourselves. We are advised to take full responsibility for our lives. But why take responsibility? Because this is the path to freedom and progress. In a storm, we cannot control the wind and waves, but we can control how we steer our ship. In difficult times, we cannot control the situation, but we can control how we adapt to it and cope with it. Personal responsibility is not a burden, but an opportunity. This is the freedom to build our lives the way we want. Take on the role of captain on your journey. Don't let anyone in any situation take away your control. Become the creator of your life and steer the ship in the direction you want. One of the common mistakes that people often make is blaming others for external circumstances when they encounter difficulties. Stoic philosophy considers this a sign of weakness and lack of control. Instead of taking responsibility and finding ways to solve the problem, we prefer to avoid responsibility by blaming others or circumstances. Imagine a situation where you participate in a sports competition and do not achieve the initially desired result. You may feel frustrated and look for external reasons, such as bad weather or injury. However, Stoic philosophy encourages you to pay attention to yourself and look at everything from a position of personal responsibility. You may realize that, despite the difficulties, better preparation, harder training, or better skills could lead to better results. Ultimately, this principle is closely related to the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control, which includes what we can control and what we cannot control. We cannot control external factors such as the weather, the behavior of other people, or the management of social systems. However, we have control over how we respond to these factors and how we deal with them. Instead of blaming what we cannot control, we should focus on controlling our thoughts, decisions, and actions. This will help us to exercise self-determination and not be dependent on external factors in our lives. From the perspective of Stoic philosophy, not blaming others is not only a way to exercise personal responsibility, but also a way to live a meaningful and free life. By accepting responsibility and control, we become positive creators in our lives and accept all challenges calmly and intelligently. Principle number 3, stop living to please others. Let's look at this principle through the famous quote by Marcus Aurelius. It never ceases to amaze me that we all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about their opinions than about our own. This quote highlights Marcus Aurelius's point about focusing on self-awareness and personal virtue rather than seeking external approval. According to Stoic philosophy, our lives depend on ourselves, and true happiness comes through self-awareness and self-control. We should not live to live up to other people's expectations or seek their approval, because this makes us dependent on the opinions and judgments of others, putting us in a constant struggle with changes and fluctuations in life. We exist in a digital world where society constantly demands that we live up to its expectations. Under this pressure, many people seem to withdraw into themselves and are forced to live a life that does not express their true self. All this happens due to a relentless desire to gain approval and acceptance from others. This way of thinking not only affects how we manage our finances and personal assets, but also causes us to chase other people's lives. We often try to match their lifestyle, property, and social status, often to the detriment of our own financial well-being. Imagine a young man who is full of enthusiasm for art and passionate about writing books. However, due to societal pressure and family expectations, he gave up his dream and pursued an undesirable financial career. Instead of following his own passion, he chose the path shown by others, and this made him feel that he had lost an important part of himself. Passivity often leads many people to go into debt or live life on their own, trying to emulate the extravagance of others. The Stoic principle of independence advises us to firmly resist this temptation and create a clear vision of our life goals. Make plans based on personal values. Make financial and life plans based on your values and goals, rather than comparing yourself to others or meeting their expectations. Self-management and control. Stoicism encourages control of our emotions and behavior, while accepting that there are things we cannot control. Focus on what you can control and embrace changes that cannot be controlled. Also, always remember to be patient. Never forget that your path is unique and the path to success is your own. The application of this principle does not always happen quickly. It requires patience, persistence, and introspection. When you stop living to please others, you gain control not only over your finances, but also over your life. Don't let society dictate your financial decisions. Patiently and persistently pursue financial independence based on your values. Remember that this path is yours, and you are not only a participant, but also unique in everything. By applying these principles, you will begin a new journey to financial freedom and contentment, a profound transformation that will bring significant changes to your life. Principle number 4. How to stop avoiding risk. When we hear the word risk, we instinctively feel worry and anxiety. These natural emotions often prevent us from reaching our full potential. In life, we tend to avoid risks and fear difficulties. But for personal growth and achieving spiritual freedom, Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on developing patience, courage, and self-control. This includes the ability to face risk with understanding and determination. If you doubt your own courage, turn to the stories of two famous personalities who inspire everyone who dares to make their dreams come true. Mark Zuckerberg, tech billionaire and founder of Facebook, once said, "In a fast-paced world, the only strategy that guarantees failure is not to take risks." He dropped out of college to work on the Facebook project, a risky decision that turned him into one of the world's most successful people in the field of technology. Elon Musk, having made millions from PayPal, did not continue on the safe path in the field of information technology, but switched his attention to SpaceX and Tesla. Although both companies were on the verge of bankruptcy, they eventually emerged stronger, proving that Musk's courage led to great success. Think about this. What distinguishes successful people from ordinary people? It is their courage to take risks. They boldly step out of their comfort zone, embrace uncertainty, and dive headfirst into solving problems. They understand that it is through this risk that they grow, learn, and move towards success. What does this mean for you? It's about changing your attitude towards risk. Courage does not mean completely freeing yourself from fear and anxiety. Instead, it is the ability to confidently face risk without ever letting fear dictate your decision. You must understand that everything in life is temporary and cannot be completely controlled. Avoiding risks is a waste of time and potential for your development. It's no different in our financial situation when you take a risk by investing in a new project, choosing a different career path, or deciding to save or invest money. Instead of spending it on instant gratification, things may not go as you hope, but things may turn out better than you think. Learning from risks and difficulties is an important part of Stoic philosophy. We grow and develop when faced with difficulties. Every failure is a lesson, and every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger. Patience and self-control are the keys to overcoming these difficulties. However, please understand that when we talk about taking risks, we are not encouraging reckless behavior. Stoic philosophy encourages calculated and careful risk-taking. This requires deep knowledge, wisdom, and a detailed understanding of your specific situation. This concept is consistent with our previous principles of self-reflection and continuous learning. So remember that taking risks means opening doors to opportunity and potential growth. The Stoics believe that maturity and success are impossible if we always remain in our comfort zone. Facing risk head-on is part of building a meaningful and thriving life. Courage, patience, and self-control will help you face any challenge with an open heart and learn from the experience. This will bring you closer to spiritual freedom and meaningful success in life. Principle number 5, stop ignoring your finances. Finance is an important aspect of life that we often overlook, but Stoic philosophy has given us the opportunity to look at the issue from a different perspective. We often hear that ignorance brings happiness, but when it comes to your finances, ignorance can lead to serious risks. Stoicism is a philosophy of life that talks about self-control, developing a strong mindset and a deep awareness of life. This means that you must understand. When we begin to discuss applying Stoic philosophy to our financial lives, we open the door to a new world where the importance of financial awareness and attitude becomes more evident than ever. First of all, Stoic philosophy teaches us to be truly aware of our financial situation. Don't try to avoid or hide the truth about money, but open your heart to honestly look it in the eye. This involves not only counting the money in a bank account, but also understanding the source of income. Can I manage my expenses more wisely? Be clear about your situation and exercise self-control to make wise decisions in managing your personal finances. Moreover, Stoic philosophy teaches us not only self-control, but also how to connect with others through understanding and empathy. You will find that you become more sensitive to the emotions and needs of others, especially during difficult times. You will be able to share experiences and learn from those who are going through similar situations. Not only does this create a positive environment, but it also helps people feel like they are not alone in their financial struggles. Personal responsibility is also an important aspect. We must take responsibility for our lives and not blame external factors. This means you are in control of your financial life. Remember that you are in control of your personal finances. Be careful and responsible with your money, and use it as a tool to build the life of your dreams. Stop neglecting your finances and start treating them with the care and respect they deserve. Principle 6. Stop neglecting personal development. In Stoic philosophy, self-development and self-improvement are the most important aspects. Famous Stoic philosophers such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius believed that the path to true happiness lies through the cultivation of the soul and the development of the spirit. Therefore, a meaningful and purposeful life is closely related to personal growth. But what is actually meant by personal development in Stoic philosophy? Personal development is not arbitrary. It is seen as a very important responsibility. We are encouraged to spend time and energy cultivating the soul and developing virtuous qualities. The purpose of life is not just to satisfy material needs, but to become better and spiritually richer every day. Let's consider the development of personality as a big journey. This is not a desire for absolute perfection, but constant growth and training throughout life. We should not put pressure on ourselves, demanding perfection. Instead, our goal becomes better and more virtuous every day. Each new day gives us a new opportunity to improve our soul and develop moral virtues. Consider another aspect of personal development, self-control. It implies the adoption of responsibility for personal growth and preventing the hit in weakness and uncontrolled situations. Keeping self-control, we can effectively optimize the process of personal development and adapt to life challenges. Now let's figure out the common mistake that many people make, a comfort zone. The comfort zone is a place where we do not face difficulties and do not grow. Although it can be calm and stable, it is also a place of lack and aging. On the other hand, the growth zone is a place where we are faced with difficulties and go along the path of continuous training. Here, our spirit and soul are tempered and strengthened. The world around us is constantly changing, and if we stop studying, we risk obsolete. As a shark must move in order to survive, so we must constantly study in order to maintain our competitiveness. You may have questions about the execution of these tasks, taking into account time and money restrictions. Remember that the value of self-control in Stoic philosophy is the adoption of the right, not the simplest decisions. This may include the priority of personal development over leisure or unnecessary expenses. It is important not to make huge sacrifices, but to make conscious decisions that correspond to your long-term goals. From the point of view of Stoic philosophy, not to neglect personal development, an inconsistent part of a meaningful and happy life. It is not only about improving personal skills and knowledge, but also about the education of the soul and the development of moral quality. Personal development is not the final destination, but a continuous journey to maturity and spiritual enrichment. Principle 7. Stop spending without means. This advice may seem simple, but you will be surprised how often it is overlooked. In the era of consumerism and advertising, we often find ourselves in a position where it seems to us that we need more than in fact. Advertising often promises that possession of a new product or service will bring happiness and satisfaction. We go to work that we hate to buy a junk that we do not need. If you know where this quote comes from, write in the comments. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true happiness does not depend on the possession of a large number of property or uncontrolled shopping. Instead, it stems from control over itself and the search for happiness from the inside. When we stop spending uncontrolled, we really begin to practice this control, not allowing our needs to master us. Our desires exceed what we already have, so how to apply this principle in everyday life? Start by distinguishing your needs and desires. Basic needs such as food, housing, and clothing are necessary for life, while desires such as the latest technological gadgets or luxurious fashion are optional. When we understand this difference, we become better in managing our finances. Modern life often puts us in a situation of uncontrolled shopping, fed by advertising and social influence. Stoic philosophy warns us of this useless consumer trap and advises to stay away from it. Instead of making purchases in order to feel happy, we must find happiness in communication with loved ones, studying personal interests, or in calm and simple life. Imagine that you have accumulated enough money to cope with any unforeseen expenses without panic. Imagine that you got rid of the burden of debts and have enough financial resources to spend more time with your family, study new interests, or even start your own business. Imagine a comfortable retirement life without worrying about the exhaustion of savings. All this is quite possible if you live in the means. Finally, life is not only a large number of property, but also a prosperous and calm life. When we live within the means, we can create opportunities for personal dreams, spend time with family and friends, as well as ensure financial security for the future. Stopping out of no means is not only a wise financial decision, but also a lifestyle in accordance with Stoic philosophy. Having achieved self, control and contentment of life, using Stoic philosophy and personal finances, we can build a prosperous, stable, and peaceful life. Today is everything. Thank you for watching. Write your opinion in the comments. Until next time.